What's up, guys? This is Brad from Gmotional.com. We have yet another class setup for you guys to try out here. This is one I like to use a lot in just really small maps like Grind and Hydro and Nuketown and soon to be the new remake of Firing Range once the new DLC comes out. For the primary weapon on this one, we're going to go with the PDW. It's a really good weapon. It's got a lot of damage output. Its accuracy is pretty decent, and it's just an overall pretty good SMG. For the attachments on this gun, we are going to use the foregrip just to get that extra accuracy. So when you're aiming down the sights, you have a little bit more time to get the kill, and then also quick draw, so you can pick up and look down the sights a lot faster, because this class is actually going to be set up to be a real quick run in and then get the kill kind of class. It's really good for stuff like hardpoint and FFA, anything where you can go into like an objective point and get a bunch of kills, or if you need to be in the objective and defend but be a little bit quick on your feet and be able to take down enemies very fast. This is a great class for that. So yeah, we got the PDW with the foregrip and the quick draw handle. For the secondary, we're going to go with the B23R, really fast firing pistol. It's got a lot of power behind it, so if you need something to switch to, it's really great. And then before we get into the perks, we're going to go down to wild cards, because we're going to take a perk 1 greed for this class, because we're going to put both lightweight and hardline on. So this makes you a little bit faster running around, and you'll actually be able to rack up your score streaks a little bit faster too. Because you're going to be in the heat of battle, you might not always get a ton of score, because you might die every once in a while, especially if you're not as good of a player as some people. But if you have the hardline on, it takes a little bit less to get your score streaks, so that works really well for getting that. For perk 2, we're going to put on toughness, which it just reduces the flinch that you get while looking down your sights if an enemy is shooting you at the same time and you're aiming at them. So that helps a little bit too. Perk 3, we're going to go with extreme conditioning. So not only will you be able to run faster, but you'll be able to run a lot longer distances as well. This makes it really easy to get around the map quickly, to get from objective to objective, or just to get around the back of buildings and stuff, whatever you need to do. So just like I said, this is an overall kind of just quick class. Like, you want to get in and get around fast and be able to get in and get kills really quickly. This is a great class for that. For your lethal, we're going to put on the frag. Normally I recommend Simtex for fast classes, but for this particular one, just because I like to use it more for like objective-based games like Domination and Hardcore, I like to put on frag grenades, so you can sit there and cook it and throw it across the map right onto the objective and hopefully take out a couple guys that are sitting there trying to capture the objective. So that makes it really, it's useful for getting a couple kills if there's people actually trying to take the objective point. Let's see here, what are we going to use for a tactical? Tactical, you don't actually have to use, I don't use tacticals that much, honestly, but if I had to, I'd probably say to use, I don't know, either shock charge or concussions on this one. Shock charges are mainly meant for something you can just set up somewhere in a strategic point where enemies are going to pass through. So, I mean, if that's something you like to do, if you like to be a little bit more strategic, I definitely recommend using shock charges. Although you have to remember with any of these things that if someone's running tactical mask, it's almost like worthless to even have it. So one of the things I usually run a lot is with Black Hat, just so I can take out enemy score streaks. Oh, have we reached the 10? Oh, we have reached the 10. Okay, so well, in that case, we're not going to use the tactical on this anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole setup. I was wondering, because I couldn't remember if I used tactical or not. But anyway, this is that setup. This is something I like to go in and use for a fast class, something that you can just go in and do the whole run and gun play through, where you just run into objectives, take out enemies, run back out, wait for them to come around, then you come back in and get them again. Like I said, with lightweight and extreme conditioning on, this makes it a really quick class. You got to run around, get around a lot faster than most other players in the game. And with hardline, you can build up your score streaks a little bit easier, just because using hardline, it takes a little bit less. For score streaks, this particular class setup, I usually recommend just using UAV, counter UAV, and lightning strike. UAV gets to where, obviously you can see where the enemies are on your map, which is very useful. Counter UAV makes it a little bit harder for enemies to find you, because we're not running ghost or any kind of stealth perks on this class. It's good to have a counter UAV up at times. And then lightning strike, I usually mainly just recommend Lightning Strike for when you're playing objective-based games like Hardpoint, Domination, Capture the Flag, and stuff, because you know the enemies are pretty much going to be based in or around the objective points. So you know you get your 3 markers that you can put down for your Lightning Strike, and you know you're going to put them around the objective points because that's where the enemies are going to be heading towards. If you're not going to be playing an objective-based game, try going for something a little bit higher, maybe like a stealth chopper or even an AGR, although AGR is kind of easy to take out. So really just based on what game type you're going to go on, but I usually just recommend either Lightning Strike or stealth chopper depending on what you're playing. And that's pretty much it for this class, you guys. Cheers.